Hi guys, me Kamal. I'm gonna be explaining the physics. AMS for tomorrow. I was gonna be online, but just in case, so you guys could like understand it for future exams, like if we when we go back in person. Okay, so the first question is, they said that a loop ABCD is rotating between the poles of a permanent magnet. Okay, which of the following statements are true? The first one is when ABCD is horizontal, the rate of flux change through the loop is zero. It's true. Why? Because when the loop is horizontal, its face is parallel to the magnetic lines. So that means that the magnetic flux, okay, through the loop is maximum, but as it rotates, yani through the position, the flux is not changing at that instant. يعني and that the induced EMF depends on the rate of the change of flux, not the amount of the flux. Okay, so take note of that. So the horizontal position, the rate of flux change is equal to zero, and the induced EMF is zero. So here the rate of flux change is zero. That's true. Okay, the second option, they said when ABCD is vertical to the current loop, vertical, the current through the loop is zero. It's false. Why? Because when the loop is vertical, its face is perpendicular to the magnetic field lines. That is the position where the magnetic flux is zero, but the rate of change of flux is maximum. So the induced EMF is maximum, not zero. So be careful. This is wrong because they said it's zero. It's not zero. Then the third option is that they said the current generated in ABCD is called an alternating current. True, because as the loop rotates, the direction of the induced current reverses every half turn. So it produces the AC current, the alternating current. So this is how like the simple AC generator works in general, yani. And for the first option, the current through the galvanometers changes its directions twice every complete rotation. It's true. Why? Because in one full rotation, the loop passes the vertical position twice, and each time the direction of the induced EMF reverses. So the current changes directions every 2 times per rotation. Yani 2 times per rotation. And the last one, the frequency of the generated current is double the frequency of the loop's rotation. It's false. Why? So this is like a trick that they always do. It's a common trick that they always do for us. They said, although the current reverses the direction twice per rotation, doesn't mean it's the double. Yani the frequency of the AC is defined as number of complete AC alternating current cycles per second. So one complete AC cycle happens every full rotation, not twice. So the loop rotates every one AC cycle. Okay. Therefore, the frequency of the AC, the frequency of the AC is the frequency of rotation, not double. I hope you understood question number 1. Question number 2. Okay, here they gave us the different phases of the moon, and it is shown on the diagram here. They said like every day, not every every day the moon it changes every time, and every day like how Ramadan it becomes a banana shaped one, like So anyways, here which of the statements are true? Select all that apply. The moon is brightest during full moon. Okay, that's obvious. It's true because during the full moon the entire face of the moon is facing the earth and it is lit by sun at the same time. That's why it would be the brightest during the full moon. And then the second one, the moon is darkest during waning crescent. It's 1 second. This is false because during the waning crescent it isn't the darkest yet. 1 second. Because there's still a bit shown, The when it's darkest, it's when it's like not visible at all. The third option, the moon takes 27.3 days to rotate once about its axis. It is true because you have to memorize it. This is the the period of the moon. You have to memorize it. That it takes 20. There's no explanation for this. You have to memorize it. It takes 27.3 days to rotate once about its axis. The moon rotates once. The moon rotates once around the day every 30. It's false because it doesn't take 30 days, as you said here. It takes 27.3. And then the last one, two consecutive full moons are separated by 29.5 days. You have to memorize this. Also, there's no way, I cannot explain it. Okay, so now moving on to question number 3. Which of the following statements describing the do's and don'ts of electricity, which of them are like the good stuff and the bad stuff of the electricity? So the first option is, they said, don't switch off and disconnect all devices when you are not using them. This is false. Why? Because how can I explain it? Because you should switch off and disconnect devices when not in use, and when you're not using, disconnect them, because it will be running al fadhi, it will be useless. So leaving them on while not using them wastes electricity and can be unsafe at the same time. The second one, do replace the fuse wire with the correct rating wire, never with the ordinary wire. True, because the fuse, it must have the correct rating, so it blows when there is too much current. Using the ordinary wire, the normal one, is dangerous, and it won't melt, and can cause fires, which is dangerous. The third option is, do learn how to. Okay, that's obvious. Because if you plug it in incorrectly, it could have electric shocks and overheating the same time. So you have to learn how to do it. The fourth option, expose any wiring even though it is connected to a socket. That's extremely false, because exposed wiring is very dangerous and it can cause shocks, burns, or fires, and you can die from it. So wires must always be covered and insulated. And the last one is true, because they said, do not use plugs when are damaged and have no cable grip, because a damaged plug or missing cable grips means that the wire can pull out. And live wires, which is extremely dangerous, if you touch it, you're dead, So live wires may be exposed, and the risk of shock or fires increases. So you should never you should never use damaged plugs. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Now moving on to question number 4. Here, the electromagnetic spectrum is shown below. Okay, they said, which parts of the spectrum do the regions X and Y respectively correspond to? Okay, so here you have to have these memorized. So let me tell you. It's gamma rays, and then the X is X-rays, and then the visible light, and then microwaves, and then radio waves. This is memorization. There's nothing to explain it. Question number 5. About 1,000 wavelengths of an electromagnetic radiation can fit into a skin cell of diameter 30. Okay, what is the type of this radiation? So this radiation, you have to analyze. You have to see. Here they said that the skin cell has diameter of 30 and about 1,000 wavelengths. So one wavelength is 30 divided by 1,000, which is 0.03. And you have to check, X-rays. Let me tell you. So X-rays. Wait 1 second. Okay, X-rays are from 0.01 to 10 nm. Ultraviolet okay, is from 10 to 400 nm, and I'll tell you how to calculate the nm. Visible, so we're basically saying it in order. Visible is 400 to 700. Infrared, whatever you say it, infrared is 700 nm to 1 mm. And radio, the last one, I'm gonna write it here. The radio, okay, is like much larger, so it's larger than 1. So it's larger than 1. So here we do 30 divided by 1000, you get 0.03. Okay, and then here you times it by you don't times it, because here from this I forgot what it's called. From this to nm you times by 10. So 1 2. So you times it by times by 100, I mean. So this will become times 100. This will become 30 nm. So here 30 nm. Which one is like between 30 here? This one, 10 to 400. So that means it's ultraviolet radiation. Okay. Question number 6. So here it says select the main reasons that the Earth's tilt has a significant effect on the weather. Why? Because it says the hours of daylight, number of trees, areas of body. Okay, so here you already know that the Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees, and that tilt changes. Okay, number 1 is correct, the hours of daylight, because when the hemisphere, the Earth thing, okay, tilts towards the sun, you get longer days, meaning more time for the sun to heat the surface. And when it's tilted away, days are shorter, which is less heating. This is an important reason that seasons exist. And then the second one, number of trees does not matter, because trees affect local climate, not global seasonal changes. It doesn't matter. And the areas of water bodies, the water influences like the temperature moderation, but it's not caused by the Earth's tilt. And the angle of sunlight is correct, because the tilt changes. More direct sunlight is the angle of sunlight, because when it's tilted towards the sun, it will have a stronger heating. When it's towards away to the sunlight, it will have a weaker heating. So the hours and daylight and the angle of sunlight both those are the main reasons on why it affects the Earth. Okay, question number 7. So here they said, wait, it's loading, give it a second. Okay, they said that the frequency of UV radiation in a tanning booth, okay, is 8.57 times 10 to the power of 14 hertz. Given that C is equal to this, what is the wavelength? Okay, here it's V is equal to F times what was it called? I forgot what this thing is called. Anyways, but here, since it's speed of light c, so it's c equals to f of this. I'm gonna try to remember it, okay? So we have c given, which is 3 times 10 to the power of 8. It's equal to f, which is the frequency, 8.57 times 10 to the power of 4 times, it's lambda, something like that, yeah. Okay, And then when you write it, when you put in you divide by this, of course, you divide by this here. So 3 times 10 to the power of 8 divided by 8.57 times 10 to the power of 4 times 10 to the power of 4. Second. Okay. It will be times 10 to the power 4. So you will get 3.5 10 to the power of 14. Sorry, it's 14. You will get 3.50058341 times 10 to the power of negative 7. Here, you know, they want it in nm. To find from m, we have it now as m, right? To find it from m to nm, you times by 10 to the power of 9. So you times your answer by 10 to the power of 9, and then you'll get 350.05, which is approximately 350 as 0. Okay, question number 8. I don't know why it keeps turning off. Okay. Here you have to memorize this. The process of transforming unpolarized to polarized, it's literally in the question. It's called polarization. Question number 9. Here they said a plane polarized light, okay, of intensity 15 mW times m to the power of negative 2. Okay, wait, give me a second. An incident on a series of polarizing filters. The transmission axis of the first filter is at an angle of 30 degrees. The incident waves initial plane of polarization. The transmission axis of the second filter is at 60 degrees with the light waves initial plane of polarization. Choose the correct answer. Okay, they want the intensity. The intensity transmitted. Okay, the intensity. Whoa. 1 second. Okay, the intensity transmitted. The intensity transmitted, I'm gonna transmit it, is equal to the intensity incident, like right now, times cosine of theta. So it will become 15, which is what they said, 15 times cosine of 30, cosine squared, so it's 30 squared. And then you'll get 11.25 if you put it in the calculator. Sorry, my handwriting is kind of bad. And then you use the other one. They said you found 11.25. Now you do 11.25 times cosine of 60 squared of the second one. You'll get 2.8. And then you do 11.25 minus 2.8. You will get 8.45. And the closest answer in the quiz is 8.4. And that's how you get it. Question number 10. Okay, here you have to memorize this. The function, the functions and the name of the device. Protects people from accidental electrocution based on the principle of, it is the earth leakage circuit beaker. You have to memorize this. Protects from overcurrent by melting down is the fuse, and protects from overcurrent should not be replaced after the event of an overcurrent is the electromechanical circuit breaker. You have to memorize these. Question number 11. Here, also you have to memorize this. This quiz is kind of memorization. So the path that the Earth takes around the Sun is slightly elliptical, and its orbit lies in a plane called orbital plane. Yeah. Question number 12. Okay, so here is basically they're saying that the illustration of the path, like it shows the position of the Earth around the Sun at 2 different times of years. So if you want, How long does it take Earth to orbit once around the sun completely? It takes, 365 days. But here it's like exact, which is 365.26 days. What is the weather in the southern hemisphere at position A? You have to memorize the here the south and the down, the southern hemisphere. So يعني it says that the position A, the southern hemisphere, is tilted away from the sun, which basically it means it gets less direct sunlight, the days are shorter and the temperatures are lower, which means it's winter. And then for part C, if the Earth's axis were perpendicular to the orbit, how would the sunlight change? So each point on the Earth would have 12 hours of sunlight each day, okay? If the Earth had no tilt, there would be no seasons, no long summer days or short winter days. Every location would get equal day and night all year. So 12 hours of daylight everywhere, every day. And for part D, which month is the most likely at position B? At position B, the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, which means that southern hemisphere is the summer and the northern hemisphere is winter here. So the southern summer happens around December to January. So December is the correct choice here because look, it's tilted, it's the opposite. So it would be December. Question number 13. Okay. Here حتى it's memorization. Gamma, then X-ray, then UV, then visible, then IR, then radio waves, and then the above electromagnetic radiation is arranged in order in increasing wavelength. Okay, always memorize it in increasing. And then they all travel at the same speed, of course. And here you have to memorize it. For the ultraviolet, it's this. For the radio waves, is this. And you have to, it's just memorization. Question number 14. Here, now they want us to find the peak and the RMS. Okay. If you remember, we did this in term 2. The peak is the top here, the peak, which is 5. Easy. The RMS is the max over radical 2. Or the same thing, or like the peak over radical 2. So the max, which is 5, over radical 2, which is equal to 3.5. That's your answer. The period of the current, to find that, is 20. How? Because they want the period. You see the full here. Like it stops here fully. It does one and then it does another one after that, the same period of time. They want the period of the current. To find it is at 0.25. So you times it by 1,000, it will be 0. It will be 25, but here there's no 25, so you put 20. And then for the frequency of the wavelength, the frequency is F is equal to 1 over T, which is 1 over T, which is the time here, which is 0.02, which is equal to 50. And that's your answer. Moving on to question number 15. Here, they gave us the power rating is found on the back of the refrigerator. They said the rating is 150 volt and 50 hertz. The power is 150 watts and the current is X. They want us to find the current. To find the current, which is I, basically it's I is equal to P over V. Okay, so P, which is 150 and V is 120, and this will be equal to 1.25. And then what is the most appropriate fuse to protect this refrigerator? It has to be the option, to have it, to most appropriate fuse to protect it, it has to be the option above the current that you found. So here we have only 1.5, so that's your answer. Okay. Question number 16. This is memorization. Many modern low current appliances are sold with only 2 pin plugs in north. To which appliances does this? So it belongs to the appliances that have tough plastic plastic cases. This one memorization, it has to have tough plastic because it has to be a strong type, you know. For now, question number 17. Here, حتى memorization, where should a fuse be placed? It has to be the live wire of the primary, so it becomes safe. And which parts of the transformer should be earthed? The iron core and the cassettes, so you don't get electrocuted or nothing. So it can be earthed, so it will be safe, you know. And then question number 18, also it's memorization, it's about the days and stuff. It takes 24 hours, okay, that's obvious. And it takes how much days? It's very, very easy. Question number 19, حتى this, it's, you have to memorize that the earth is tilted 23.5 degrees currently, and it's pointed toward the star Polaris. You have to memorize this, and it's also memorizing. Question number 20. This is حتى memorizing. The moon orbits the earth in a slightly, you have to memorize that elliptical path, and it takes 27.3 to complete one revolution around the earth. Question number 21. Okay, so here the frequency of a certain type of electromagnetic radiation is 3.2 times 10 power of 14 hertz. The speed of light in vacuum is 3 times 10 power of 8. They want us to find the wavelength of this radiation vacuum. To find this, C is equal to F times, what was it called? I forgot what it's called. I don't know why I keep forgetting it. Anyways, so it's C is equal to F times this. Okay, which is this. So we have C as 3 times 10 to the power of 8 is equal to F. They gave us, which is 3.2 times 10 power of 14 times this. And then when you solve it in the calculator, you'll get a value of 9.375 times 10 power of negative 7. To make it nm, you times it by 10 to the power of 9, and then بالأخير it will become 9.38, which is 9.3. 938, not 9.38. Okay, and then for II, the radiation belongs to an inferred part of the electromagnetic spectrum, because depending on the thing that you get, so you know the spectrum. Here it's 938, so it's an inferred, and here you have to memorize. They want it in decreasing, so from high to low. Okay, question number 22. حتى here it's memorization. They said choose the correct answer. The part of this spectrum with the highest frequency is the gamma radiation. You have to memorize this. The gamma radiation is the highest, and the wavelength of 1.2 belongs to an infrared. And the type of radiation not listed in the table and not perceived by human senses is X-ray, because X-ray radiation is not by humans, like machines and stuff. So now question number 23. Okay, here they said consider an unpolarized light that has an intensity of 120. A student has two polarizing films, which he can rotate at will. The light must pass through both these films. Okay, fill in the blanks. The smallest intensity of light can be obtained using two films is 0. Why? Because for A, it's I1 is equal to half of I0. Okay, so half times 120 is equal to 60. And then I will be equal to I1 times cosine squared of the angle, which is the 60. Which is the 90, they said. It's 90. So, so it will be I1, which is 60 that you found, times cosine squared of 90, which is 0. No, wait. No, cosine, because 90 squared is 180. Cosine of 180 is... 1 second. cosine 90 is 0, so times 0 and it will become 0. That's why it's 0 here. And then the greatest intensity of light, we found it, which is 60. And then part C, they said that the intensity of light after passing the through film, so you do 60 times, they said it's the angle 30, so you do 60 times cosine of 30 squared, which is equal to 45, and that's it. So yeah, that's question number 23. Moving on to question number 24. So it's question 24, you have to memorize this. The electromagnetic spectrum includes a wide range of waves with different wavelengths and frequencies. Okay, so part A, which part of the electromagnetic spectrum is visible to an eye? Is visible light. طبعا يعني visible light is the only thing that's visible to the human eye. And what is the approximate wavelength range of electromagnetic wave mentioned in part A? So you have to memorize this. Its wavelength is approximately from 375 to 750. Question number 25. Okay, why is it not? Why is it not shown? Give me a second. I think it's an issue from them, yeah. So let me try solving it myself. So they said a beam of unpolarized light with an initial intensity I0, okay, passes through 3 ideal polarizing filters, M, N, O. The transmission axis of filter M, okay, is parallel to the y-axis. N is at 0 to the horizontal, and also O is at 0 to the horizontal, but of x-axis. They said, what is the direction of the polarization light emerging from filter O? So they given is okay, well, just what I just said. And the intensity after 3 lights, they said is 9.4%, which is 0.094. So part A, the direction of the polarization after filter O. Here it will be the horizontal polarization, because it is light emerging from O is polarized horizontally. So I think it is horizontal. It's an horizontal polarization. Part B said find the angle that gives 9.4. So you do, I is equal to half of I0, I initial yani. So you have it, you do I think cosine squared of 90 degrees minus theta. And then when you solve it, you have given 0.094. You put it equal to 0.094. And then you'll find it بالأخير is 30. I'm not really sure about this, because I don't know why it's not given here. But if you don't understand me, feel free to text me. I'll explain it to you privately. Part C is 90, because they said that what is no light through طبعا at 90 degrees straight, no light will be shown here as shown. Imagine the light going through this, it's 90 degrees. That's where it is not shown, so it's 90 degrees. Okay, question number 26. This is all memorization. You have to memorize this. Question number 27. So you have to memorize this also. If Earth's axis were not tilted, okay? I just told you in previous question that if it's not tilted everywhere and every day, there will be 12 hours of sunlight every single day. There's no exceptions, Question number 28. Day and night on Earth are caused by rotation of the Earth on its axis. Okay, طبعا. And season in the Earth occur because the Earth axis is tilted. As I said, if it's not tilted, there would be no season, no nothing. Only 12 hours sunlight a day. Nothing would change it. And the last question 29. The lunar cycle repeats every 29.5 days. This is also memorization. And I hope you understood the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the new channel.